Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3 of What If ThunderWing was in Transformers Prime. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So we start off in the Nemesis warship, where Arachnid offers herself to Megatron to track all of the remaining relics. And the same thing happens where Megatron says it's noted, with Arachnid still walking out of the Nemesis brig. Now Megatron orders somebody to assassinate her on a mission. And it is not Dreadwing, but instead it's ThunderWing in this timeline. And ThunderWing actually decides to bring Dreadwing with him on this mission. So once they get there, Arachnid is a little on edge. Kinda like how she was, I'd say, in canon. I'd say she gets Dreadwing to get really angry at her, and she runs away, with ThunderWing and Dreadwing chasing her, but she uses her webs on Dreadwing, and Dreadwing gets stuck on that tree just like in canon, and ThunderWing follows Arachnid, who is wounded on the floor just like in canon. Arachnid then says, "So what? Are you gonna kill me? Just like how your precious Lord Megatron commanded of you?"
No. In fact, I think you could make a fine addition
To what exactly?
to my army of Chaos Bringers.
That is when Dreadwing returns and gets ready to kill Arachnid, but ThunderWing holds him back.
She's with us, Dreadwing. No need. But it is best that you do not return with us to the warship. Megatron must think you have been terminated. Your mission is to scour this planet and search for troops and resources I may use to terminate Megatron and the Prime.
And with that, Arachnid officially joins ThunderWing's team and heads out to scour the planet, with ThunderWing and Dreadwing reporting back to Megatron that they have terminated Arachnid, with ThunderWing being promoted to Decepticon's second-in-command position. Soon enough, Arachnid finds the Insecticon hive buried underground and activates them, contacts ThunderWing, and ThunderWing decides to enact his plan now. So yeah, Arachnid activates the Insecticon hive and sends them out after the warship to kill Megatron. At the Autobot base, the Autobots pick this up, but they don't know what it is, obviously, until they arrive. That's when the Autobots think, wait, Insecticons? Here? How? But Optimus says, there's no time to contemplate on that. Autobots, attack! Now RC still goes after Arachnid to fight her just like in canon. And we could see Optimus fly up into the air and shooting down Insecticons with his machine gun. And we could see Bulkhead lift up Brawn and throw him up into the air at a group of Insecticons, and he jumps from Insecticon to Insecticon, stabbing them all. Oh yeah, down goes the hive. Meanwhile, the Insecticons reach the warship, with Megatron immediately ordering all his Decepticons to get into defensive positions. Megatron walks out into the battlefield. Insecticons. But who's giving them these commands? The Autobots? Impossible. Unless she's... But he can't waste time thinking, and continues to fight off the Insecticons. Soon enough, one Insecticon flies down at Megatron and lands before him, and it's none other than Hardshell. Megatron says, "Bow before Megatron, your leader." But Hardshell charges at Megatron, and they both fight each other, punches going back and forth. And this is Hardshell. The Insecticon in the mine in canon is just a regular Insecticon. This guy is the fiercest among the Insecticon hive, so he definitely beats up Megatron pretty good. He actually pins Megatron to the ground, ready to kill him. That is when ThunderWing walks out of the Nemesis and sees Megatron. "ThunderWing, destroy him!"
No, on the contrary, He will be the one to destroy you.
He then contacts Arachnid to command the Insecticon Hardshell to destroy Megatron. But there's no response, and Arachnid is put into stasis. Meanwhile, the Insecticons snap out of it. Hardshell then releases Megatron, and then he looks to ThunderWing. Care to explain why you ordered my execution? ThunderWing is then surrounded by every single Insecticon, Decepticon, Viacon out on top of the Nemesis. Realizing his plan failed, tells Dreadwing.
Dreadwing, now.
We then see Dreadwing running through the Nemesis hallways, and then he presses a button, activating explosives on the Nemesis fuel line, blowing it up completely. So meaning the Flying Mind episode would not happen because that whole thing is totally done for. With Dreadwing transforming and flying off the Nemesis, leaving. As the warship starts going down, Megatron looks at ThunderWing.
Good luck without your warship, Megatron.
With ThunderWing then transforming and flying off as the Nemesis crashes down. A few hours later, Knockout then comes up to Megatron. Do you have good news for me, Knockout? No, my liege. We have suffered critical damage to all systems. The warship is now flightless. Grr. Those traitors will pay for what they have done. Soon enough, Dreadwing and ThunderWing then head to the mine where Arachnid is in stasis. They then free her, cause here we could just say that the Autobots left her in the mine. ThunderWing then says to Arachnid,
Reactivate your link with the Insecticons and order them to destroy the remaining Decepticons.
Arachnid tries, but she can't. She's lost her link somehow.
We need a new base of operations. We cannot be wandering around in these caverns. Easily ambushable.
Arachnid then says, I might know a place. They then head out to the Harbinger, where Arachnid and Dreadwing immediately start getting to work on updating the Harbinger's computer systems to keep up with the current status of things. And I know what you guys are wondering, since the Flying Mind did not happen, how do the Autobots get the Iacon coordinates decoded by the ship? Well, I'm gonna say, Optimus gets to work a lot early on decoding the Iacon coordinates, since the Decepticons are way too busy repairing their ship. So Soundwave gets work to it on it a little later, but they both manage to complete it around the same time, meaning soon enough, both sides start preparing to hunt for the relics. Meanwhile, Mech picks up a crashed warship on their satellites images. Starscream then decides to make a move. So he tells Silas, if you release me, I will assist you in defeating the Decepticons. Silas is a bit hesitant, but he does end up releasing Starscream. But as soon as Starscream is released, he shoots a missile, blowing up Silas and killing him, including Mech. With the death of Mech and Silas, Starscream has all of Silas's tools to himself. He walks through Mech HQ, looking around. But that's when something catches his eyes. Optimus Prime? No, simply a cheap imitation. He then looks further into this and realizes he could use this as a tool to destroy Megatron and the Autobots. Meanwhile, back at the Harbinger, Dreadwing informs ThunderWing that he has received 3 coordinates decoded by Soundwave, because I could say the Harbinger is connected to the Nemesis, which is also connected to Soundwave, so it makes sense that they get it.
All weapons to destroy both Optimus Prime and Megatron. Yes.
That is when Arachnid walks in and tells ThunderWing she has discovered something very useful. Arachnid then leads the three of them into a room.
These could be useful.
And that's where I'm going to leave it off here, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part 3, and I'll see you guys in part 4.